Magandang hapon mga kababayan. Ang buwan po ng Oktubre ay napaka-espesyal na buwan para sa ating mga kababayan. As I said, October is a very special month because it is Filipino-American History Month. And we celebrate that every day in October here on Kababayan Today. And this afternoon, we're going to start off by learning about the story of the farm workers movement, which was given birth in Delano, California, where Kababayan farmers played a major role in writing U.S. history.
Southern California Toyota takes us around town in Los Angeles on Kababayan Today.
When people think of farm worker rights, what comes to mind is the UFW and Cesar Chavez. Unfortunately, the story of the Filipino-American labor leaders and workers' contribution to the farm worker labor movement has been largely ignored by academic textbooks and the domestic and international media. Excitingly, in its first annual pilgrimage, Destination Delano, spearheaded by Jackie Joanino, is a two-day event paying homage to Larry Itliong and the AWOC.
You know, it all began when my father was recruited to AWOC in 1958 and was chosen to be the strike leader here in Delano, California. And this is why I'm here, is to clarify the truth of that, how the UFW really began.
The two-day event commenced at Ilocano Farms in Aurora City, California, then headed on its second day to Delano, California, with stops to significant historical points of interest in the lives of Filipino farm workers, who are also known as the Delano Manongs. The first stop was the Filipino Community Center, where the AWOCs, led by Larry Itliong, congregated to set up strategies to protest against the great farmers.
Larry was a man who worked hard in the belief that, in strong belief that, as long as we didn't do what we had to do, we would never get anywhere. He was once in a while he'd take me and invite me to say, "Hey Al, let's go have lunch over and have some adobo over here at this little restaurants in the Filipino community." Welcoming and you know, I mean, at the Filipino Hall, every time we ate there, it was Filipino food, you know, rice and some fish and the adobo, and that's where we got acquainted with another culture, you know, Mexican culture, and then, you know, finally there was a mix of being able to live with one another.
On its next stop, the group of Destination Delano participants headed to the Paulo Abayani retirement village located on the UFW's 40 acres. This spot was created as a housing for farm workers. It was named after the first Filipino casualty of the strikes, Paulo Abayani. Johnny Itliong reminisced about the place as emotions brought him to tears, knowing that many of the Manongs died without families.
When these Manongs, when they came, you know, the only Filipinos that could come were single, and it was, I think the ratio was 14-1 female, and again I think it was actually even more than that. But when they passed, you know, they didn't have any children and no family, because the families were either in the Philippines or they were single males to begin with. So, you know, it's very heartbreaking and sad that you know, to die alone in that way. But they weren't really alone. They always had each other, and you know, my father always taught me to respect the elders, and you know, many times we went to funerals and we were the only ones there. You know, even Roger Delano, him and his family did the same thing too.
On its next stop, the participants visited Larry Itliong's gravesite to reminisce and talk about the labor leader, and also take a moment of prayer. For participants Charles Oy and Joan Almedia, it was a moving and educational experience joining the Destination Delano.
We came from Los Angeles to Destination Delano to be able to touch base and meet the actual people that were involved with the community, and how Larry Itliong was able to unify the Filipino people.
I was just in for the adventure. I had no idea I was going to be really changed by this whole event. The tour and how people built this community to pave the way, for us to enjoy, things like agriculture, which doesn't seem to be a big deal, but it's such a big deal, and how they worked really hard, and here we are, and enjoying it. It really changed me.
This is what's great, and I think this is what's great about Larry and Larry's vision and Larry's not being forgotten. And I know that he had been forgotten for many years to be credited what he well deserved, even though he would never take any credit for it. But him and Pete Velasco and Phil Veracruz, Ben Gaines, Andy Mutan, all of them played a tremendous role as far as in the community. So I say, bless him and bless all those that have been passed, but now it's the young people's responsibility to take up the vanguard and the torch to move this thing. Things are not going to be better, and it's about organizing.
If you want more information about Destination Delano, make sure to visit destinationdelano.org. This is Peter Gonzaga in Delano, California, reporting for Kababayan Today.
Southern California Toyota takes us around town in Los Angeles on Kababayan Today. Ito ang all-new 2014 Toyota Corolla. Completely redesigned na may sleek new